Foster for me was not in that game, even though statistically they might see that Foster assisted the first goal and scored the second goal.
Most times you see a striker on the pitch for 80 minutes not performing well. The coach decides to leave him because the goal even Foster scored shows the pedigree of his eyes on goal.
Welcome back to EVO SPORTS. Finally, the AFCON has started. Morocco defeated Comoros by 2-0. Mali paired out a 1-1 draw with Zambia, and South Africa defeated Angola by 2-1. But we are going to discuss much about the South African game, especially giving out the in-depth analysis of the game. Chima, what do you talk about the South African game? What can you say about the game?
Yeah, welcome back to the show. It's nice to be here and to talk about the AFCON. Firstly, the Mzansi, the Bafana of South Africa, they started their campaign on a very bright note, winning their game 2-1 against Angola. Angola cannot be ruled out easily. But firstly, before I continue, Leon Foster supposed or should, if I were him, I think he should just buy a bottle of big wine and give to Hugo Bruce for leaving him on the pitch up to that moment he scored, because Foster for me was not in that game, even though statistically they might see that Foster assisted the first goal and scored the second goal, but sometimes statistics don't really tell well about games in some certain aspect. But yes, we work with statistics. For me, around 50-something minutes, I was expecting Hugo Bruce to change Foster, to bring Makupa in, to try it slow, because I believe that Makupa will have been more mobile up front. But then again, these old men, the way they see things sometimes, that is why you have to be a coach is different from fans or an analyst, because you must take a gamble. If you are going to be a coach, you must be a very good gambler, because that gambling, if it comes out well, people will praise you. If it comes out bad, then people will lash you. Because now, sometimes these coaches, they perceive some things in the training. Maybe they feel like, I trust this player more, or this player is playing. Because before that game, Leon Foster, 13 games for Burnley, 2 goals and 1 assist. So then, Makopa too, maybe 2 or 3 goals or so. I think he has scored more than 2-3 goals in PSL and Carling Cup and all of those things. More, maybe up to 6 goals or thereabout. I can't really get the exact figure. But then now, in Foster playing in EPL, maybe Hugo Bruce feels like, okay, this guy have more experience playing against more competitive defenders in the Premier League, so he decided to give him that nod ahead of Makopa, so which was a very good one. At least it's a big name in South African squad. But in that first half, I was not really seeing him getting involved so much. I was expecting and thinking he should have been holding on to the ball, creating chances for the wingers and for the midfielders to come in, but he was struggling to hold on to the ball. He was struggling to fight that up front until he got that assist. And all thanks to Apolis, who turned that mistake to go. Then second half as well, it was a fantastic goal. Leaving him up to that moment, I feel like Hugo Bruce have trusted him to some extent, believing that no, this guy, whenever this guy have any chance, he's going to bury those chances, which he definitely did. And then coming to Williams saved them a lot in that game, because Williams had a lot to do, the position in everything, apart from the goal that was scored, a little bit of complacency in that defense line, then which we are going to talk about. Then it was the way he was positioning. Then he's supposed, yes, there was supposed to be a defender blocking that first bar for him. In football, you must have somebody blocking first bar for you. Anytime they want to play corner kick, free kicks, any type of set pieces, you understand, somebody should be blocking that first bar for you. But unfortunately, nobody was there, and then the Angolans capitalized that space, and then Leon Foster not having that defensive mentality inside that 18-yard ball. That is why when you have a team as a striker too, you are not just scoring goals, you should be a striker that can also defend. So when you find yourself, anywhere you find yourself on the pitch, you should act like that position, because if you're a striker, you find yourself in the defense line, definitely you should know how to defend without causing a penalty. You can't say because the job is left for only defenders alone. And if you're a defender, you find yourself in the opponent half, or you find yourself in a striking position, and you see a chance to score, to give your country a very good goal to lead, you can't say because you're a defender you will not know how to strike the ball. No, that is why this is called team. You understand? So in that midfield, Mokoena, he really did well. I saw the battle he was giving to those Angolans in that midfield with Sitole. He was trying so well. He tried to play compact. And one thing the South African did that I really love, even when leading their game, they did not just sit back to just relax and then defend. No, they were still attacking the Angolans. Angola, they have a lot of experienced players playing in Italian leagues and all of that. Like, so I feel like this Bafana, they really did so well. Starting 11, their starters, 7 PSL players there, 4 Mamelodi Sundowns, 3 Orlando Pirates. So it really tells you about the league, and it tells you about how compact, how trusted the team has been under Hugo Bruce. So you understand, Mbokazi have been a wonderful player.
He was exceptional.
He was exceptional, and that is why Hugo Bruce was very angry with him that this guy, why going to the MLS league when you should have gone to Europe, because in Europe they will have built you, or they will build you, they will polish you well. Because I see that Mbokazi become one of the best centre backs in Africa, because the way he plays, he's very strong on the ball. He can kick with his left and right. He can nod the ball. He does not joke in defense line. I've watched him several times, even with Pirates. He does not play all those hanky-panky games in defense line. He's a no-nonsense defender, which I love about him. He just need a little bit of more sense and experience in that defense line to complement his potential. But if he continues to build on this potential, I believe that he's going to be one of the best centre backs in Africa. Then, above all, a lot of good games, the South African, they really came to the party. Mudau from the right fullback, the left fullback as well too, they really did well. The centre backs, they were very compact. In fact, they did well because Angola is not just a team you can just come and wallop 3-4 goals easily like that. So, and kudos to Angola too. They responded very well too. At least it was a fair game, but kudos to them.
Albert, in your own view, how did the Bafana of the South Africa play?
Yes, thank you very much. It's good to be here again today.
You're welcome.
The two teams played exceptionally well. Look at the goal difference, it's just 2-1. So it shows how thick the game was, how competitive it was. It was a burst of adrenaline. I really enjoyed watching such games. You see, Hugo Bruce came up with an unusual formation of 4-4-2. I don't know why he left his normal 4-2-3-1 kind of formation. That's why it's always good to assemble players earlier. Maybe you have seen.
Maybe it depends on how the Angola plays or the team he plays with.
Yeah, perhaps. But if a coach should abruptly change his kind of formation and decide to use another formation, it is owing to the fact that there's a mix of players he have, and he feels this formation will actually give me what I want, considering the kind of players that were invited. The Everfield Central when Williams was on goal.
Yeah.
The Madao was right fullback, and Gezano paired with Mbokazi, Modiba left fullback, then the Nkota, the ebullient Mokoena, Sitole, Apolis, and the Boli Mbule and Foster. Okay. They started the game. It was a nice one. The reason I see why the coach, there's something about the striking position. Most times you see a striker on the pitch for 80 minutes not performing well. The coach decides to leave him because he knows what he can do. Even at the 11th hour, he can, because the goal even Foster scored shows the pedigree of his eyes on goal. It was a quick one. It was a wall pass, 1-2. They gave it to him. He dummied and he flashed it in. It shows that the coach really relies on his ability to score goals. But having said that, Rowan Williams is always a standard performer in all his games. Yes, he has kept that status quo for a very long period of time, so he's a tested goalkeeper. But I want to really identify that left fullback, Modiba, and Mbokazi. Mbokazi, I was one of the first person that criticized him when he went to America. I said his agent actually did not work hard. At the age of 19, 20, the kind of football he played. And you see, his kind of potential for a left fullback is very, very rare throughout the world. Yes. I remember in 2002, where blessed memory coach Musa Abdullahi was actually looking for a left footer that can play from the center of the midfield. They were looking for such player throughout the Nigerian league, quote me anywhere, till they went to get a player known as Richard Aromo Igbe, was playing for MP Warri back then. Mbokazi is a left-footed player playing at the heart of the defense, but whenever he holds the ball, just like Victor Roque Jr. of Brazil back then, he would join the attack. Look at about 58 minutes into the game in the second half. Look at his effort. Look at his bullet from afar. He's somebody as well that can switch play from the defense line
to the attack,
to the attack, to the right, to the left side of the attack. He has vision. He has foresight. He's calculative. He does not actually really have speed. That's why I see the best defenders in the world, quote me anywhere, the Nestas, the Cannavaro, all of them, they don't actually have speed, but they have those qualities that is required for a defender. Calculating, checkmating, reading the defense line, reading the
Bigger
attack,
players.
reading the opponent and all of that. Mbukazi is embedded with these potentials. But I wouldn't know why he has gone to America, but maybe that is left for him and his feet. And I believe one day he's supposed to come to Europe. In the midfield, the Nkota, the Mokoena, Apolis, these are players that have played over a period of time. They understand themselves very well. But you see, the complement between Mokoena, Nkota, and Sitole is out of earth. For players playing their trade in Africa, having this good complement, the combination in that midfield is next to none. They know themselves. They know when to. If this man move, when should I block that vacuum that he has left? Because they have played it for a lot of time. Now, that police of a player is a very technically gifted player. The goal is scored. He ran into the periphery of the Angolan 18. In between the players and squeezed the ball in. It shows how delicate he is as well at the periphery of opponent's 18. Not only to play as a out-and-out player and all of that. So the South Africa has a well-compacted team. Now, the Mbule that was a twin striker with Foster, that guy is very, very powerful, strong. He's very, very powerful. He's a very, very powerful striker. But I think he's lacking in speed. He's lacking in speed, and that, there's what is known as dummy, meander. A striker that knows how to meander out of his defense line. Yeah. We always see free ball. Are you getting it? But I think he should work on that. But if it comes in time of power, if he shield the defender will not see the ball. Are you getting it? That's one of the things I feel did not actually make South Africa function very well at that.
Maybe he was playing to the coach instruction.
Perhaps, but he may be playing to coach instruction. But you see, when you play to coach instruction, sometimes your quality, most times, not even sometimes, your quality shows. Your quality shows. Because even the best players in the world, in Ronaldo, the Nazario, the Lima, all of them, even the Osimhen of today, you may play to coach instruction, but your potential needs to be put into the mix so that you can perform at your very, very best. So Mbole is very strong. So, but I enjoyed the game so much. When Foster scored the goal, the stadium went abuzz. It was about the 79 minutes he scored. But I want to give kudos to the Angolan side. Their coach, Patrice Bumel, he played an unusual formation that you will never think this formation can even collect less than 4 goals from the South African side. You played a 3-1-4-2 formation. You played show. That guy only at the center of the midfield. Show to a South African side that played for.
He was the only midfielder that was there.
He was the only midfielder, and he was the person that scored their only goal. Show. He was the only one there. And the defender, that guy, Jasper, that guy is an animal. Gaspar, the guy is an animal. They showed then Zito Lubmento, that guy that plays for Cagliari, he showed some stuff that, yes, he plays in the Serie A. You understand? And I think they are now in Serie B. He showed some stuff that we are not lay about. We are Angola as well. We are footballing nations. Their captain too, technically gifted, well coordinated, and knows how to organize his entire team. Freddy, he was up and doing. And there's another guy, I'm forgetting his name, the guy that put on a tinted hair. I'm forgetting that his name. The guy too was restless. So I actually enjoyed the game. One of the highlights of the game is how the Angolan side curtailed the South African team, because I expected South Africa to score more goals, but when it started, it wasn't as juicy as I thought from the beginning of the game. So it was a nice contested game. It shows that there are some countries in Africa, there are some countries that are perhaps underrated in Africa, that when they get to the knockout stages, they could spring a surprise. But it was a nice one. Angola and South Africa. Angola still have 2 more games to play. They still have the potential of qualifying to the next stage.
Chima, the South Africa's first goal came in the 21st minute by Apolis. Do you think that Apolis' positioning affected the defense of the Angolan team by squeezing in that ball to the far right?
Yes. If you watch the way they line up before the goal was scored, I think Lea Foster was in the middle. Then I can't remember, maybe in Qatar or so, or one player was in front like this. Then you see Apolis was here. They were all lining up like that in a way that even if the first man hold on to the ball, he can easily turn and he will see South Africa. Because one thing, when you want to score a goal, your positioning inside the 18-yard box must be very, very important. You must always be in front of the defender if you must score a goal. If you are behind the defender, there's no way you can score that goal. And then when Lea Foster missed the control because he wanted to control to shoot. When he missed the ball quickly fell to Apollos because Apollos was already in front of the Angolan defender. Being in front of that Angolan defender, he has every advantage to control every ball. So anybody that comes to him, the defender will have lesser contact with the ball because if the defender tries to make any contact, there's going to be a penalty. So the only thing the defender could do was just to shade him like this and then expect another of his teammates to come clear, but then nobody was coming. Then Apollos with his experience trying to hold on to the ball, as he held on to the ball, he shifted like this, thinking. So the man here was thinking he wanted to shoot at that very first time. He did not shoot. Then the other defender that was marking them, now when he came closer to, he still deceived that man as if he wanted to shoot again, then to create more space for him. So by then the goalkeeper did not know what to do anymore. About 1 or 2 defenders have been blocking the keeper, and then the goalkeeper, the ball have already come close. So for Apollos to shoot before the goalkeeper will go down, the ball already entered. So it was a well calculated goal, you understand? But what gave them that goal most was the positioning that the three of them, yes, that positioning inside that 18-yard was the major thing, because that positioning already created space for the three of them, for any of them to have opportunity to, on a good day, they will have missed the ball and they will still continue. But because of the Apollos, he has been on form in PSL, in for Orlando Pirates, so he has been playing. So having that chance again, he was just as if he was playing for Pirates, so he just needed to bury that ball at that moment. So it was a very good goal, and that position really gave them that goal, because if he had not positioned well there, maybe he would have struggled, or the defender would have caught up with him in that 18.
Okay, I bet. Sure, the Angolan player, I almost committed two players of the South African, Sitole and Modao.
Yeah.
They fell into his own antics, then and had a yellow card. Do you think that the South African players, Sitole and Modao, that had 2 yellow cards, different on different occasions, fell into the Angolan antics from Show?
You see, his name speaks very much of himself. Show. You know what Show is now?
As a showman.
As a showman. You see, when I saw the formation, I repeat, when Patrice Goumel brought in that formation and I saw Show at the mid of the park, 3-1-4-2, it shows that he's the anchor of the team.
Of the midfield.
So the coach actually rely on his ability, not an ability he has noticed for just 1 year. The guy has been consistent in the team over a period of time, and he has been given the nod that you are the one that can actually do it. Are you getting it? So a player like Show, being at the middle of the park with technically gifted Mokena, creative Sitole, you understand? Someone like Apollos being at the middle of the park, jostling at the midfield with them, it shows his level of quality. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? The guy is not just powerful, he's combative, he's creative. Skillful. Yes, and skillful as well. So for him to have committed the South African team at the middle of the park, it shows his level of quality of the game. So, but Angola, they are not new to this game. So that's why they can go toe-to-toe with a team like South Africa. But, you know, at the end of the day, South Africa shows, you know, one of their goals was disallowed. The goal, Moremi, yes. I forgot to speak about that guy. You see, sometimes when a coach make a substitute, the player he brings in actually shows how much the coach knows the player. As soon as that Moremi got into the pitch, it was a complete,
the game changed.
It was restlessness for the right fullback of the Angolan side. That outside left position was continually seeing attacking consciousness of Moremi. Sometimes he will swerve into the midfield, try to do some flash and all of that till he scored that goal. But that goal, it wasn't offside. It was a build-up to that goal that was actually offside. It was Foster that was offside. It was the build-up to the goal, so it was disallowed. So it was a nice game, so to speak. It was a nice game. And I still maintain the fact that in as much as it's 2-1, it shows that, and look at the time the goal came, 79 minutes. Even though it came even at the earlier or even come more late than that, it shows that that game, Angola came all out. And if you actually check the statistics as well, it was not the write-off statistics. They were very close to themselves. The ball possession, goal on target, ball possessioning and all of that, they were almost at par. It shows that they are familiar foes to themselves, but it's a nice game. I enjoyed the game.
Chima, Nkota, in that game, did he live up to expectation before he was substituted and Moremi was brought in?
Well, I don't know why Nkota was substituted, but from the first half, he gave a little bit of flashes of what he can do. I saw some leg overs, some step overs in the first half. I saw some, dazzling. But I feel like Nkota lacks energy. He lacks that power. This is African football. And playing against the Angolans, you needed somebody who is more direct. Nkota is a kind of skillful player. Like whenever he held on to the ball in that game, when he was holding the ball, he was trying to dribble. After dribbling, he cut back. Yes, you see that, okay, this guy, but not every coach likes players that play maybe like JJ coach. After dribbling, there's no productivity. Some coaches don't even like you to dribble. They just want you to be direct. So if you must dribble in a case where you need to beat the man in front of you and then create chance. But if you dribble any player, after dribbling any player, then you did not make any effort to create chance or to create us. I feel like your dribbling is of no use. You understand? So you're just trying to entertain the fans. And then football has moved away from being fun game or passion to business. This time around, coaches no longer sign players because of he can dribble. They sign players because this player can give you result. They can give you exactly what they needed. So Nkota played well, maybe because it's his first game in the AFCON. Sometimes there are players that come to the AFCON like this or the tournament like the first game, they might not really play. Maybe but we all know they are good players. But maybe in the second game, they might still start him and see what he will do. Then from there, might begin to pick, or they might decide to bench him. When he will come in next in the second half, he might come and show, he will step up his game. So, but Moremi did something that Nkota was not doing. In the first half, Nkota was playing only from that right side. Whenever he's holding on to the ball, he just played dazzle. Like Foster was not really busy in the first half. He was not making those runs. So definitely South Africa they were stagnant in that first half. They just because of that goal. Apart from that goal, the front line they were not really making any runs for attacking passes to come in. So Nkota was just up there by the right side. Foster was just up there in the middle. Then Apolis was just there. But when Moremi came in the second, I was wondering why did they change Nkota? But then maybe the coach have already noticed that this is what is happening. So Moremi came in to change the dynamics of the game. So when Moremi came in, Moremi was not just playing from that Nkota's position. He was running into the midfield. He was making those runs. He was carrying some defenders away from their position. Now those defenders he was taking away that want to mark him. Then he was creating chance for another player, for Foster and the left back and Modiba to move. But in the first half, Nkota was not doing that. Even marking, I saw many scenarios where Nkota did not even come back to assist Mudau in that position, He was just up there giving him like 10 to 15 yards, which he was leaving too much work for Mudau to do. But when Moremi came in, Moremi have to draw those defenders, the Angola defender backward. Why? Because Moremi was anytime the midfielders was holding the ball, Moremi will have to dash to midfield or side, create space. By so doing that, the defenders were not scared and he has speed. So that was why immediately he came in, he changed the game. He was able to score that goal that they allowed. And then before you know it, Foster began to come into the game. The attack shaping a bit again because when you are making runs, you keep the defenders uncomfortable because they will not know how to mark you. They will just be on their toes. They will be chasing you up and down. If they decide to chase you to where you are, they will create space. If they don't chase you, you will have the ball to play. So that was exactly what happened.
Albert, Sitole getting a yellow card in the first half and Moda getting a yellow card in the same first half. How disciplined do you think they were to complete that ball in 90 minutes without any other booking?
Yes, Sitole and Moda is a right fullback. Yes. Sitole is a central midfielder. Sometimes you watch it, you maybe viewing a football match and in the first 18 seconds of the game, a central defender may just have the yellow card. Now, as a professional player, you must play with the consciousness that you already have a booking. You are on.
And I was scared.
You are already on the referee's book. Any further mistake that will warrant on that card, you're not just putting your team in problem. You are putting your entire nation in a tournament like this in problem. Because it's always good to win your first match. It keeps you on the eye side of it. So the possibility of qualifying. Now, I believe so much that as they have received the first card, matching orders, Sitole and Madao, in the first half, I believe their approach to the game actually changed. And you see, sometimes when there is a good connectivity with teammates, Modao is a right fullback. The Ngezanu, that guy that paired with, I don't know if I get that name correctly, Ngezanu, that paired with Mbokazi, he was giving him complete cover. I don't know if you watch the game properly well.
I was thinking Modao was supposed even to be the man of the match.
Perhaps
because he played extremely well.
He played extremely well. You see, most times when he moves above the center circle, you see that center defender, Dan Gezanu, he comes close to the right fullback position, and you see somebody like Mukwena or this other guy will drop a little bit to the center of the midfield in case of the loose possession, so that they can able to block any counter attack. You understand? So he's a defender. He had that yellow card. I know very well that he's conscious of everything he does. But no matter how he's going to be conscious, as a right fullback, a left fullback, if there is no connection between you and your central defenders, you may commit more blunders. That is why you see when you are playing a football game, if a number 2 moves, number 5 cover, number 6 come behind, number 3 comes, the midfielder start dropping the number 4 and all of that, to give a cover up, to give a backing, to give a depth. Are you getting it? So in such, if there's a depth between the 2, 5 and 6, he will not go and give a reckless or an awkward tackling so that I don't receive a matching order. So I believe that yellow card is sustained. Was sustained throughout the rest of the game because there was a real team spirit, knowing fully well that he will not be able to go all out to mark an opponent. So he actually need a cover from his teammates in which they gave to him. That's why he could play to the end of the game. Apart from your own consciousness, sometimes a player may just go after you, maybe just beat you. You understand? You may just want to just pull him off. You think it's just a normal thing.
Yes,
but it doesn't warrant a yellow card. You get it? So aside your consciousness, you need your team as well to rally around you, give you the necessary backup, support, depth you need to after you getting another booking. So that's one of the things that I think make. But for the Sitole, it's a central midfielder. So if he missed the ball, another person can go after him. And I know that sometimes when you have a yellow card and the coach decides to leave you as a defender, the coach understands your quality.
Because of show.
Yes, the coach.
Somebody disturbing them in that
exactly. Midfield. But so far so good. The coach, Hugo Bruce, know them very much. And for him to have left them on the pitch, he has his reason why he has left them on the pitch.
Chima, do you have any other thing to say before we go to the board?
Yes.
Analyze some of the things that our fans at home didn't see.
Yes. We have to, we are going to make use of the board. One of the things I want to say is that, like many people have given credit to the Angolan team, I also give credit to them for losing. But I now discovered something that most of these Angolan players, they play in Europe. In their starting 11, Sundown, the Bafana team, they had about 7 PSL players. Pilot and Sundown 7, Sundowns 4, Pilot 3. When I checked the lineup of the Angolans, they had about one home-based team. The other left fullback plays in Farabat in Morocco. The remaining 9 players are foreign-based players. Most of them play in Italian league, Lecce, Cagliari. They play in Antalyaspor in Turkey as well too. In Wakra, I think Qatar or Saudi also. Then, if you play with 9 foreign-based players, or let me just put it 10, because playing in Morocco too, you're a foreign-based player, and you have a very good league. It's not a bad one, but then I cannot just tell you that I'm giving credit to you like that, because you are supposed to oppress the South Africans. But then now you see the work of the PSL. That shows how far the PSL league has gone. Yeah. Because if 7 players from the PSL league can start 11 out of 11 starting lineup against a team that had about 9 or 10 foreign-based players, which most of them, 7 to 8 of them are playing in Europe.
And yet they come out on tops.
Yet they came out on top. Even the football possession did not even outplay South Africa. South Africa outplayed them. So definitely, football is gradually moving away from where you play to the quality that you possess. So if Africa as well can grow up to the level of PSL, definitely so many issues that we are having today in football, in AFCON now, you know, come. So kudos to PSL, kudos to the South African team for believing in their own base, and then the home base doing that exactly why the PSL is one of the best leagues in Africa. Now, coming to Mudau, now that Mudau yellow card for me, yes. I didn't see the Modiba yellow card. I've forgotten how it happened, but the Mudau yellow card for me was a useless one. Why did I call it useless? I'm going to use the ball to analyze that yellow card. But now, I saw the ball clearly. A man was trying to beat you, coming to your half. You now marking. The man drive you into the middle, into the half. You have center backs. You have your center back. You have another center back. Mbokazi, Ngezano, what is it called, was Ngezano. There. You have Modiba there. You have Mukwena in the midfield. Why sliding? Why sliding?
And Sitole was very close to the ball.
Sitole was close. Why
So
sliding?
even
if you did not slide, the man will
Sitole
still
would
lose
have
the ball.
yeah.
Sitole will collect the ball. So sometimes, some of these players, okay, Ugo Bruce trusted you. He gave you this thing. You got that yellow card at that moment. Yes. You could have marked at least that will reduce his game because you have experience. The coach played you there because you have experience, because you can mark this man. There are other right fullback that should have played, but because they trusted. So if the coach trusts you to play, I believe that experience should come in play on the field of play, and that was why he was still able to finish that game without getting a red card. But then again, for an experienced player like Muda playing for Sunday, I did not expect you to go down, or you as a defender, you don't need to be going down at every given time, especially when it's not in your half. Now coming into your half, the man was trying to drive into the midfield. From that play, that man cannot score. Even if you score, they are not going to blame you. But now you sliding in front of referee, trying to play. You don't have to remove every ball. As a marker, as a defender, you must not remove every ball. You press as a group. One person don't mark in a team. You press. When you are pressing, as you are pressing that man, the man is moving. You are pressing for back. He already knows that you are coming. He's aware of you. As he's aware of you, another opponent, your teammate coming closer to him, have more advantage to collect that ball because he's standing in front of him. If that your teammate did not collect that ball, that guy cannot choke. He cannot choke you. He cannot choke. He can't come out from he cannot come out from the stomach of is it Sitole or so. He will definitely want to go back and pass the ball to the back, and they will restart, and you keep your shape. These are the little experience that can win you a tournament or can make you to go out.
That was the antics I said that they fell into.
You understand? They fell flat. They
both of Sitole and
Mugao. They fell because this is not a last man. This is not a 10-year ball. This is not a professional foul. This is a useless foul that would have cost them.
You should have averted it.
You understand? So because if you had gotten another yellow card and then maybe out of that game, maybe Angolans because there's sometimes you want to go for a tackle mistakenly, you might. But this one was not a mistake. It was a deliberate sliding which you do not need at that particular point in time. So next time, Muda should learn from that kind of mistake, knowing whether in this type of tournament, any slight mistake you can cost your team all the good effort they have been making. So definitely, you need to be aware. Taking unnecessary yellow card that might make you maybe next one again, you take another yellow card. You are missing the third match. Maybe the third match might be very crucial. And by that time now, they have to bring another player that is not originally in the plan to play that position. And by that time, there might be leakage in that wing, which might lead to because if they score you one goal by mistake in this tournament, you might be out because you might not be able to recover in this tournament. This is African football. In African football, don't make silly mistake. In African football, don't assume that even they can check VAR in Africa and still see that and still decide to give you red card in that game because that is Africa for you. So we are getting there together, but now you must always know that the referees are human. In Africa, the officiating somehow is always shaky. So something that you might feel that I got the ball,
you don't get away with.
You can do it in Europe and they will sit and then they will overrule. But in Africa, you can do it. You can even get the ball, but because your leg touch the
opponent first,
they can decide to blow penalty or to give you a red card, which you will not have anything to do. And maybe at the end of the day, they might even ban the referee. Fine, but by that time, the damages has
already been done.
You need to be very, very wise while playing in AFCON. Every little mistake can cost you your game.
Albert, any other thing to chip in before we go to the board and give the in-depth analysis?
No, based on what he has said, you see, yellow card, red card are matching orders. Yellow card and red card are imminent in the game of football. See, the game of football.
Well, it depends on how you.
I'm coming. In the game of football, goalkeeper does what goalkeeper does. Defenders do what defenders do. Midfielders do what they do, and strikers do what they do. That is why you see, if you play in a football club, a professional club, as God has privileged me to be, and I've seen, there are some training days that goalkeepers play on theirs. They have goalkeeper trainers. Defenders be on theirs. They have defenders trainers. They have midfielders. They do what they have to do. You see, you cannot stop yellow card or red card from happening. And if you want to fault people that have actually had yellow card unceremoniously, you want to blame the greatest people that have graced this game from the inception. The Mardinis, the Nestas, the Cannavaros.
Maradona.
No, I'm even talking about defenders.
Okay.
The Cannavaros, the Fernando Redondos, all of them, name them, the greatest in the world. Check them. Walter Samuel, Marco Materazzi. You know why? The work of a defense liner. Rigobert Song. When I was growing up, I was meant to understand that defenders smoke hemp. Let me say it here. But when I was growing up, I now realize that it's not actually hemp. It is because they are trained to be radical.
Be rugged.
There's a player that played Nigerian League. I think he played for BC Lions. I was privileged to, in my growing up days, I played with him when he was Emmanuel Tebere. They call him Agbo. That is coconut. If he contests with you, he doesn't want to know if you're a small boy, that will hear this podcast. He's a senior man. There is nobody that had heading with him that had never had concussion. He has natural power on the head. So defenders are trained in that capacity. And most times, you may say defender have some yellow card. It is not because he wants to have it, but because his adrenaline is already busted as a defender. If you see an opponent coming, he wants to. But then, a coach will tell him, calm down. See some coach and tell that calm down, because you actually need to tell them to calm down, for them to calm down, for them to realize that red card can actually make us lose this game. Yeah. So yellow card must happen, red card must happen. For as much as that guy has been in the pitch, he has been consistent in, just as Shima said, in Sundowns. He's a good player. But is he going to collect card? Yes. Some days he's going to collect red card. Yes, he's going to collect because he's a defender. Are you getting it? So it's a football game. It must happen one way or the other. But no matter how you want to see it in the game of football, it's a product of everyday learning. Till you retire in the game of football, sometimes when they retire, you ask them in maybe they went to a podcast or a station, they will tell you most of their regrets, that if they can turn the ends of time, they will not actually do something like that. So, but it's a good one. The South Africa has a good team. The Angolan side have a good team.